Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back. Back like I told you I would be. Right now, it's a little bit before I got to clock in for work. So I decided to just come out here, make a little video talking to you guys about something, right? A little bit of something, a little bit of something. So this is actually going to be my first time back. I told you guys that I work at Crunch Fitness, right? This is actually going to be my first time back at Crunch since the whole thing with S happened. Not going to lie, a little nervous, but, we're just going to kind of push through, power through. Like I was saying earlier, still miss S. She's still always on my mind. Still not going to give up on her, and I'll still always be here for her. But yeah, so I'm going to go to work in a little bit. It'll be interesting to see how things go with that. Just because, like I said, this is my first time back in a good while. And I even, like I told you guys in another video, I started working out at Planet Fitness to kind of avoid having to go back to Crunch just because I just feel very uncomfortable there now. Which I know sounds kind of lame. Like, dude, you're uncomfortable to go there. Just go. You know what I mean? But with me, I kind of, like I was telling you guys in another video, I quite emotional. Wear my heart on my sleeves a lot. So it's kind of tough for me, especially if it has something to do with my emotions like that. So a little bit nervous, but I know my God will be with me, and I'll be fine. Just got to power through, guys, right? Got to keep on keeping on. Got to keep on rocking. So, I think I might have heard that Roki Sasaki, the Japanese sensation, I believe he might have signed with the Dodgers. Or those are the reports I've been hearing. I don't know. I know it came down to the Dodgers, Padres, and the Blue Jays. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, why would he go to the Blue Jays? If you've kind of been following along, they're a team that's on the decline, right? Like, they've even talked about just, like, blowing it all up. They've talked about selling off Vladimir Jr. They've talked about selling off Bo Bichette. They've talked about pretty much just, like, almost like a rebuild, essentially. So I'm like, why would a Roki Sasaki want to go to the Blue Jays? But, I mean, who am I to question what he might want, right? Maybe he wants to go to Canada. I don't know. I also heard that he was thinking between the San Diego Padres. That one I can understand, right? I heard that he grew up kind of idolizing Yu Darvish, who's a starting pitcher for the Padres, a Japanese-born. So I'm like, okay, that makes a little sense, right? Padres, they got some juice. They're a really good team, and they can, I wouldn't have been surprised last year if they won the World Series, honestly. And I don't think many other people would have been surprised either. So Padres, I can definitely see that choice if he wanted to go with that. And like I said, it was between us, the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Blue Jays. But I'm hearing from the reports I've been kind of seeing that he signed with the Dodgers, which pretty happy about. I really wanted him, especially since we missed out on getting Walker Buehler back. I'm glad that we were able to get another starting pitcher. A young guy, looks very promising, so I'm excited for that to go down. Like I mentioned earlier, I wonder what's going on with Pete Alonso. The first baseman used to play for the... I don't know why I'm blanking on the name. New York. He used to play for New York. I'm blanking on the name for whatever reason, guys. But he played for New York, first baseman. And I'm like, not Yankees. I can't remember for whatever reason. It slips my mind. But I'm like, why doesn't nobody want him? Pete Alonso, right? From what I've heard, his on-base percentage is not that good. But it's like, when you get him, you're getting him for the big bat. You're getting him for the bombs, the homers. So I'm kind of baffled as to no team really wanting him. I was thinking with the St. Louis Cardinals having gotten rid of Paul Goldschmidt, I was thinking, like, when I initially heard that, I was like, okay, well, maybe they'll be kind of in that Pete Alonso sweepstakes. No, they do not want him for whatever reason, or at least I haven't heard anything. It doesn't seem like really anyone's clamoring to get Pete Alonso on their team, which is very interesting. And I think I even saw a report saying, like, the Mets, there we go, the Mets. The Mets have also kind of given up on Pete Alonso, and I'm like, what's going on? Where's he going to end up signing? Like, watch him go to, like, the Colorado Rockies or something. he'll end up on a team like the Detroit Tigers or somewhere like not really that big, which is kind of like not a big market team. Pete Alonso to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Maybe. I mean, beautiful ballpark, right? But who knows? So that Pete Alonso, that's been kind of like scratching a weird little itch on my brain. I'm like, what is he kind of like? My guy's getting blackballed or something like that? Yeah, guys, I don't know why in the camera, at least to me, it looks like my lips are really red. Very weird. Probably because it's really windy where I'm at, so I probably got chapped lips, honestly. I put chapstick on every night, but it doesn't really seem to work too well. So now, if anything, it might look like I'm rocking some like lipstick or something, which, I'm not hating on that, but it's not my style personally, In terms of baseball, what else could I talk about baseball, right? I haven't really seen any other big news going on. I think that Pete Alonso thing's probably the biggest, one of the biggest fish right there. Since this is looking like Roki Sasaki's going to the Dodgers. But yeah, really excited for the baseball season. And hopefully that should be good right here. I think what I'm going to do, because I want to talk about some other stuff, I'm going to end this video right here. Just so I can kind of condense this into a little bit of a baseball one. And just kind of have it be about baseball topic right there. And then I'll go ahead and start it up and I'll talk about what else I was going to talk about. But so I can kind of round this out a little more, I want to talk about, this is a team. I'll give you guys one dark horse team. One team that I would put money on right now to definitely make the playoffs. And dare I say, make some noise in the playoffs. You guys got to keep your eyes on the Cincinnati Reds. A lot of young guys. A lot of good young guys. The ballpark, they call it the Great American Small Park for a reason, right? There's going to be some bangers over there. I think it could work out pretty great. So just keep an eye on the Cincinnati Reds. I think they're going to do some big things. Not just saying that because they traded for Gavin Lux, one of my favorite players, right? But I think they got a good core over there, a good young core, some good pitching, and I think they can really cook this year. So we'll see what they do. I've been kind of bitten in the past by kind of putting my money on the Royals from the American League. I've honestly, in the past, put my money on the Colorado Rockies as well. Not this iteration of the Rockies. Very much not so, right? We're still when they had Arenado and everything, and it never really panned out for them. But hopefully I'm not jinxing the Cincinnati Reds. Think they'll do pretty great this year. If I had to make predictions, I know this is super early, guys, but if I had to make predictions for who's going to win the division, right? Their divisions. If I had to go with the National League West, I'm going to say my bias a little bit, right? I believe the Los Angeles Dodgers are going to take the National League West again. I think the Padres are definitely going to put up a good fight. Hell, even the Arizona Diamondbacks might be getting in there, sneaking up a little bit, right? I wouldn't be surprised if it's another thing where we get all three teams in the playoffs, right? Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks. Would not be surprised at all. I just think at the end of the day, the Dodgers are going to win the division. Coming off the World Series win. The team's only gotten better, right? So I can't really not put them at the top. If we have to go with the National League Central, now this is one that's a little more dicey, right? Because the Central Division in both leagues is not the best. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm sorry if that hurts anyone's feelings with that, but I'm sorry. If I had to say who's going to win the National League Central, I'm going to say the Chicago Cubs. I really like what they did. Yeah, they traded Cody Bellinger to the New York Yankees, but they did get Kyle Tucker in that trade. Or they traded for Kyle Tucker and then got rid of Cody Bellinger afterward. But I just feel like the Cubs, they just have too good of a roster not to do well, right? As to why they haven't really done that well the last few years, I couldn't tell you guys. It's one of those things where it's like you look at the roster up and down, you're like, this is a solid roster. A lot of really good ball players. But for whatever reason, they haven't exactly put it together yet. I'm going to go ahead and put my money on them to win the division this year. Just because I feel like, especially with getting that Kyle Tucker trade right there, it's going to kind of light a fire under them, and they'll be able to do some things. But we'll see. We'll see. So I choose the Chicago Cubs to take the National League Central. The National League East. You know, I know this is a very heated division, right? You got the Mets, got the Braves. The Nationals were good a few years back, but you know. And then you also have the Miami Marlins. Honestly, not putting up too much of a fight there, but hey. You know, I would have to say, I think, you know, how are you not going to go with the Braves? I think the Braves are going to take the National League East once again. I know last year the Braves dealt with a lot of injuries, so that's something, like, they're a great team. You know, you can't deny that. Like, honestly, they're a team that always scares me as a Dodger fan, right? Where I'm like, I hope they don't have to go against the Braves, because for whatever reason, whenever they play the Braves, it just feels like the Braves have their number. I don't know why. So yes, I believe the Braves are going to take the National League East. Onto the American League. The American League West. I know the Astros they're very different looking Astros. They don't have Bregman. They don't have Kyle Tucker. I believe they lost a pitcher or two as well. So I don't think the Astros are going to exactly be running the division like they have been. So I think that division's kind of crazy. I think it's really going to be up for grabs. I'm going to have to go with the Texas Rangers. I believe the Rangers should be able to take that division just because it is looking a little weak, honestly. And the Rangers did just win the World Series, not last year, but the year prior, right? They still got Seager, still got Semien. DeGrom's going to be back for them, so we'll see how that goes. I think the Texas Rangers will take the National League West, or the American League West. For the American League Central. Now, the American League Central, like I said, is always a fun one because it's just so wacky, you know, to put it lightly, put it nicely. I'm going to say, as always, Cleveland Guardians going to take the American League Central. I think they're just not even necessarily the best team roster-wise. It just seems like their organization knows how to be better than the other organizations of the National League Central. Or the American League Central, sorry. So I'm going to go with the... did I call them... I can't remember if I called them the Indians or not. The Guardians, Cleveland Guardians. My apologies if I called them the Indians. Just that's what I remember them as. I believe the Cleveland Guardians will take the American League Central. And the American League East, right? That one should actually be a fun one. Calling it right here. Hot take. Probably not a hot take. I believe the Boston Red Sox are going to take the American League East. Write that down, guys. I believe the Boston Red Sox are going to make some noise this year. So I just wanted to... I know it's really early to kind of be predicting anything like that, but I just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there, kind of get my feelings out there. If you guys happen to have any opinions on who you think is going to take it, or any other baseball opinions, go ahead and drop something in the comments. Like I said, I'll always leave my Instagram. I will leave my TikTok now, even though that might get shut down, but I kind of talked about that earlier. All right, guys, like I said, I'm going to cut this video off here just so I can kind of make it like the baseball video, and then I'll go ahead and talk to you guys a little more about what I was going to talk about. All right, guys, see you in a little bit.